Hi, my name is Daniel Ragsdale, and I'm excited to give you a lessons learned briefing from the recent cybersecurity incident that occurred during the Five Eye International Summit. So as a quick overview on what we'll be going through today, we're going to talk about what happened, as well as some of the positives and good things that happened during the handling of this incident. On the flip side of that, we'll learn about some things that could use improvement, or as I like to call them, learning opportunities. And finally, we'll discuss moving forward and how to ensure that this type of event doesn't happen again. So, what happened? Well, a few days ago, a couple of users reported that some of their systems were acting strange. And it was discovered that the Reviton ransomware toolkit had actually infected some of the systems on our network. So the affected systems included web servers and the applications that ran on top of them, as well as the workstations that were used by some of our administrators and summit attendees. So with the affected systems, we actually lost a large capability, as in all of our web hosting on our Apache servers, to include our WordPress site, which was taken down when we lost that critical business function. Additionally, some USB devices were found, which could have possibly been used to provide a vector for initial access into our network. And there was also a cubicle that was found in one of the, there was also a laptop found in one of the cubicles, which was being used by multiple users. But we'll get more into that at a later slide. So during this incident and the response to it, a couple of good things were noted, which was one, that our users and attendees at the summit actually were able to identify kind of suspicious activity, and then they reported it up, which substantially helped our final debrief and allowed us to kind of construct these lessons learned, which we made in conjunction with the incident response team, we being Team Canada. Additionally, the malware was identified as the Reviton ransomware toolkit, which was a win for our incident response team. And third, our legal team was involved from the very early stages of this, which is awesome, because anytime that there's any kind of negative cyber event, you're going to want to involve the legal team as soon as possible, because they'll have key insight and they'll also be able to advise senior stakeholders on correct actions to take. So some of the challenges, as well as negative environmental factors that allowed this to happen. One, we noticed that a lot of the users were sharing accounts. Again, on this laptop that was found in the cubicles, multiple users had logged in. Additionally, when we investigated it, we noticed that there was no technical nor policy-based prevention of allowing anyone to plug a USB into any of the computers. And we noticed with the Windows computers that if you did plug a USB in, then it would actually auto-run whatever was on the USB devices, which is a little bit scary. Also, once we were hit with the ransomware, that's when we realized our backup solution was inadequate. This would have rendered the ransomware useless had we had correct data backups in place, and we could have recovered our information in a timely manner after isolating and remediating the issues on the compromised systems. Unfortunately, that was not the case with this cyber incident. Finally, our antivirus did not flag and prevent the ransomware when it was initially introduced to the systems. And the theory right now is because our antivirus is signature-based and not heuristic-based, which is when it flags on suspicious behavior and not actual like hard-coded signatures. We our antivirus was unable to detect this as it was happening, and therefore provide us no prevention or protection from the Revitsun ransomware toolkit. So moving forward, Team Canada recommends a few lines of effort here, one of which can be kind of combined into just policy-based solutions. We will implement a policy so that backups are scheduled regularly, and that the backups will be pushed to other mediums besides hardware. So we'll do cloud-based backups using Amazon Web Services backup service. Additionally, we need better user access control to ensure that users are not sharing accounts, because when users share accounts, we're not able to provide any kind of accountability for the user's actions when they are logged into the same account. Additionally, our user access control will be bolstered by multi-factor authentication, again, to prevent anybody from using anyone else's account. Some of the technical solutions that we identified which should be implemented are USB device blocking, which can be administered and pushed out via group policy objects on our Windows devices and configured on our Unix devices. Additionally, at the network level, we can also implement MAC filtering to prevent any rogue devices from connecting to our network. Anything that's not an approved whitelist will not be allowed to connect to our network, which we think is important, especially since we found that rogue laptop in the cubicle. Finally, although this is somewhat of a policy-based solution, we think it's important to identify as its own section here, but just training. So training our employees on what bad looks like and how to report it, and just to give them general cyber awareness and cyber hygiene knowledge so that they can help us keep the 5i Global Economic Summit safe in the future. And pending any questions, that concludes my briefing. If anybody does have any questions, feel free to either ask them now or find me after the meeting. I'll hang around for a little bit. Additionally, you can always reach our office at teamcanada.economicsummit.com.